Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you are having a great day. Let's start with today's stories. Am I the idiot for leaving my sister's bridal party after she told me dad's girlfriend is the maid of honor? For context, when I, 32, female, was a teen, my parents ended up getting a divorce. My mom got full custody because my dad said he needed time off, as he couldn't take care of us when everything was still raw. When he was around, he spent most of his time with my sister Maria, 25 female, rather than me, as she needed him more. This was a sore spot for me growing up, especially when he made an effort for Maria, but never for me. He has tried to reconcile, and while we aren't on the best of terms, I've grown to accept it. He ended up meeting Jane, 57, female, at a bar, and they hit it off. While I personally don't mind him moving on, Jane was obsessed with the idea of reconciling our relationship. The few times I've met her, she would get into arguments with me, claiming that my dad only wants his daughter back and to give him a chance. Last summer, we were having dinner at Maria's flat, where she and dad were discussing an upcoming family vacation. When Jane asked what I thought about the trip, I informed her I wasn't going. She immediately started questioning me about it. Suffice to say, it ended up in a screaming match, as she claimed I was purposefully icing her and my dad out. I told her I was a grown adult and that if she didn't like it, she had someone else following her like a puppy. My dad got involved and I ended up choosing to leave, but not before she shouted that I was mom's lapdog. Maria ended up kicking them both afterwards too. I haven't spoken to either of my dad or Jane since that day. With Maria's upcoming wedding, I've expected to see them there, and I've made my peace to just stay as far as possible. But a few days ago, she told me she had a maid of honor in mind. She claimed Jane has been nothing but sweet to her, and that she felt like she was her close friend. As she was talking, she said that Jane was really sorry, and was trying to reach out to apologize, but I cut her off. I told her if she wanted her as her maid of honor, it was her wedding and choice, but I personally didn't want to be in a position where I have to keep interacting with her over every little detail. I would still attend the wedding, but I wouldn't be a bridesmaid. This made her tear up. She begged me to reconsider, as she really wanted me to be part of her big day, and I told her I will, but just as an attendee. In the end, she said it's okay, but asked me to reconsider. News got to my dad and Jane, and now my dad has sent several messages telling me that I'm acting childish, and that I'm ruining Maria's day. Am I the idiot for leaving? I feel like this way we can avoid any potential conflict, but I also want to be part of her day. OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the a-hole. I decided to leave the bridal party after finding out the maid of honor is my dad's girlfriend. I may be the a-hole, because I refuse to get over her constant badgering and annoying comments. Well, you're not the idiot, OP. Your dad was already wrong when during your childhood he prioritized your sister's well-being over yours. And now, years later, he once again puts the well-being of another person, in this situation, of his new girlfriend, before yours. And I'm sorry that you and dad haven't been able to repair your relationship until now. Dad, dearest, should try to make things right with you, and not do everything to make you go further away from him, or the people around him. This woman needs to learn to respect your boundaries. Also, you are not the idiot for getting out of your sister's bridal party, after she chose dad's girlfriend as maid of honor. That a person who doesn't respect your boundaries, and you want to keep a distance from her, and that's okay. But why is she choosing Jane to be her maid of honor? Doesn't she have close friends of her age? Why weren't you the maid of honor? What does your mom think of this? Is your dad paying for the wedding? Do you think that maybe your dad is making her include Jane in the wedding because of this? Because she's not just a bridesmaid, she's the maid of honor. This is weird. You saw yourself in a very unpleasant situation and found a solution to prevent this from happening. Unfortunately, this means you are not going to be your sister's bridesmaid, but as far as I could tell, she understands your decision. There is no reason for anyone to interfere in this matter. At this point, your dad and his girlfriend aren't trying to fix anything, just make more drama. Also, why is Jane so obsessed with being the person who will help repair yours and dad's relationship? Oh, and what she said about your mom, what a witch. So, once again, not the idiot OP. Now let's read what the comments say. I find it weird that a 25 years old has as maid of honor a 57 years old. I hope this doesn't make me an ageist, but Jane, apart from being nosy, intrusive and rude, is also her father's girlfriend. She already has a part in the wedding. Not the idiot. Is her sister not inviting her own mother? Because I do not see how the maid of honor calling OP, her mother's lapdog, bodes well for the sister's wedding day. I'm thinking dear old dad is paying for the wedding, and wants his girlfriend in front and center, to hurt OP's mom. Not the idiot. You know what your boundaries are, as it concerns Jane, and you've chosen to remove yourself from the situation, rather than force Maria to have to choose between the two of you. But that being said, I do think you need to consider how this will play out in the long run. Presumably Maria will want your dad and Jane around for holidays, birthdays, celebrations, and if you also want to attend those things with her, you may need to figure out a way to attend, but keep your distance. Maybe I missed it, but is OP's mom attending the wedding? How is she involved in the wedding? And does she get along with Jane? OP is not the idiot. I get that her sister is upset, but she needs to respect boundaries, and frankly, it's a slap in the face to OP that she isn't the maid of honor now. And what did you guys think of this situation? What would you do if you were OP? Would you also no longer be a bridesmaid in your sister's wedding? Or would you try to convince sister to change her mind about her maid of honor? Don't forget to leave your comments down below. Oh, are you enjoying the videos so far? If so, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications to know when a new video is out. This really helps the channel, so I appreciate it. Now let's go to the next story. Would I be the idiot for not letting my sister see my baby before I make a huge move out of state? My husband and I welcomed our first baby into the world a few months ago. To say the least, it's been pretty hectic as we are first-time parents. My oldest sister, let's call her Lily, is in a wheelchair and lives on her own, with round-the-clock care. For the past 10-ish years, I have taken care of my sister, alongside with other caregivers. And before anyone asks, my mom is simply too old and unhealthy to care for her in recent years. She's also sorta been absent from caring for her. I would go to her house 7 days a week. I was there anywhere between 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. every day. Around 36 weeks, I took leave to focus on myself and baby. My sister seems to have had an issue with this. She complained to anyone who would listen that I wouldn't talk to her. Mind you, I was strictly focusing on preparing for the arrival of my baby, and hardly had time or mental energy to conversate with anyone. Lily is very emotionally demanding. She expects your time when she wants it. Being that her mind is at 15 years old despite being 45. I could not do this. I couldn't give her more of my time than I already had. After my baby was born, I became so drained of any emotional or social energy. I struggled with postpartum depression. My physical recovery was painful and exhausting. I'm still recovering intact. During this, my sister bombarded everyone, saying she couldn't understand why I wouldn't speak to her. I would go off to tell her she needed to give me time to recover. This wasn't good enough, and she persisted. Finally I snapped, told her she was not entitled to my time, and that I'd been struggling with adjusting and that she needed to give me time. She constantly wanted to know when I'd return to work. I get paid by the state to take care of her. Or when I'd go by with my newborn. My sister didn't like my radio silence, and decided to fire me in the middle of my recovery, because I wouldn't communicate with her. My husband has struggled finding work the past year, and it's been incredibly hard, so she really threw us for a loop when she fired me. Our main source of income was now gone, and my husband's job didn't pay nearly enough for us to sustain ourselves. I was livid. A week or so ago, my husband got an amazing offer out of state. Since we weren't finding work here, we jumped on the opportunity, largely due to the fact we'd go homeless if we stood in a high cost of living state. We live in California. We didn't want to leave our entire family behind, but after searching for work endlessly, it seemed like our only option. Now here's the part where I think I might be the a-hole. My sister hasn't spoken to me nor I to her. Everyone knows I'm leaving, except her. I didn't exactly plan on telling her, but my family is pushing me to let her see my baby before I leave. I don't want to, but at the same time, I feel it might not be worth the trouble avoiding her to appease my family. So, would I be the idiot? OP gives more info in the comments. Would it lift an emotional load from your shoulders to visit your sister before you go? Would you visit your sister before the move if the baby wasn't part of the equation? To be honest, I don't think I would. I'm so beyond upset. She financially crippled me over an emotional outburst she had, because I set a clear boundary. I'm even more hurt that my family is just telling me to just let her see my baby, despite she pushes us into struggling more than what we were. Info: when was this, with regard to maternity leave? Did she have a date to expect you back, and which had been coordinated with other caregivers? Yes, I had a replacement for her and had intended to return back after my leave. She was never without anyone there to take care of her. Her main complaint was I didn't visit her / have conversations with her during my leave. I know it would absolutely hurt her if I didn't let her see my baby at least once. I think that's where I'm struggling with the most. She may be mad at me, but she's not mad at my baby. Info: how old is your baby now? Edit, or more saliently, how long has it been since you left on leave at 36 weeks? Baby is now 2 months old. Her firing me was when he was about a month old, however, and my husband just got this job offer a week ago. I'm glad people are seeing it from a family perspective, and not an employee one. Although, I understand it's hard not to look at it from that point of view as well. I've started a few times that she's pretty emotionally demanding, in the sense she's used to having company or just people talking to her about literally anything. That's the part one couldn't do. Well, OP, I don't think you are or would be the idiot in whatever decision you make. Intentionally or not, your sister ended up causing a lot of problems in your life, so I understand you don't want to see her at that moment. In fact, she may have been the main reason for you having to move. Since I don't know if you still worked for her, your husband would have accepted the job offer. But it would be easier, and it would definitely cause less drama in your family, if you visited her, and let her meet your baby, before you moved to another state. You don't owe her anything. In fact, she is the one who owes you a big apology, but you're going to be starting a new life somewhere else soon, and I think closing that cycle and trying to resolve the things with her would be very good for you, you know. But if you decide to leave without seeing or talking to her, that would not make you an idiot either. She hurt you as a sister and made you lose your job when you needed it the most, when you had your son to support. She knew that you needed time to recover and to take care of her nephew, but as you weren't fulfilling her wishes, it was the way she found to hurt you. But consequently, she ended up sending you further away from her. So OP, whatever you decide, I don't think you'll be the idiot. And what do you think OP should do? And what suggestions would you give OP to deal with her sister? Now let's read what the comments say before reading the update. Not the idiot. The lines between work and family are very blurred here. It's very difficult to be able to separate the two, and your sister took full advantage of utilizing and punishing you on a professional level for personal reasons, and has now also cut you off. I don't think you're the a-hole. I think you would be well within your emotional rights to just cut ties, and stay out with the opportunity she presented you with. Not the idiot. Don't let her see the baby. She was being immature and disrespectful by firing you because she's high maintenance, and upset she's not the center of your attention anymore. I'd say move and not tell her a thing, to be honest. I am actually going to say not the idiot. Your sister has mental and physical issues. She hired you to work for her, so she is essentially your employer / customer. You did not reach out to her to let her know, even via your husband, about when your return date would be. She has every right to fire someone who is not doing their job. She pays people to take care of her. And she is allowed to feel hurt that you, as her caretaker and sister, and not reaching out at all. And that can include having your husband call her to let her know what is going on. And you have every right to feel hurt that your sister fired you, when you felt like she should have been more caring. Not the idiot, She shamed you for taking time to recover and then fired you. You don't have any contact, and if I was you would leave it like that. Focus on yourself and your family. Not the idiot. She manipulated you, guilt you, and fired you. That caused a lot of trouble for you. Just leave. Why meet her and give her the opportunity to harass and guilt you? You will be far away soon, and your life will be much better for it. Now let's see what OP decided. Edit, my return date was up in the air due to the complications I had during delivery. I had lost a lot of blood and was in the hospital for 3 days. I kept getting extensions due to my slow recovery physically and mentally. She was aware of this. Edit 2, I'm going to clarify a few common mistakes. She did not pay out of pocket for me being there. There was what was supposed to be a temporary replacement. Her firing me was due to not having my communication as a sister, not an employee. My return date was never exact because of my complicated delivery and slow recovery. Y'all, I lost almost 2 liters of blood and had to recover in the hospital for 3 days. I was on unpaid maternity leave by the program that I got paid through, so not having a job did financially impact our lives. It's hard to keep up with so many comments, thanks to everyone who brought up things I hadn't thought of or even gave me a pep talk. I've made a decision on what I'll be doing. I decided to tell her I will be leaving within the next month. As for her seeing the baby, I'll ask her if she wants to, which I'm sure she will. Well, I'm happy that OP made a decision that makes her happy. But I still don't understand why the sister didn't have more empathy with OP. I get that she needs constant help, and she had other caretakers helping her. But at that moment, OP also needed help and time to recover. Well, I hope that everything goes well for OP and her family, in this new phase of their life. And that's it for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.